apply psychology to real-world problems, training in the practice skills, and supervision of external practice in mental health facilities. And these will be under the broad coordination of the university. And so this also lasts for 2 years. Dr. Fala will talk about this, the content of this program in more detail and narrative. And finally, with the structure of training in place, I want to talk briefly about what's needed in order to develop and maintain high quality practice in clinical psychology in Saudi Arabia and in other countries certainly. And this has broadly 4 components. The first is university training. Second is being able to provide supervision and professional development for already qualified psychologists. The third is investing in local research in clinical psychology. And the fourth is requirements and regulation of the profession. All of these things are needed to develop and maintain good standards. So firstly, the university training. The things needed are the ability to recruit suitably experienced staff members who have extensive practice in clinical psychology and are strong academically. So they need to be both academically able and also to teach the skills from their own experience. We need a program that meets common international standards in its structure, length of training and the content of that training. And that, we think, is what we're proposing for the University of Tebuk. The second component is, after people have completed their training, it's important to have the ability to have ongoing professional development in the workplace. And this can mean in the early years of practice that more experienced psychologists will be there to provide supervision and to help early career psychologists develop and gain confidence in their skills. It's also important to provide opportunities for acquiring new knowledge of training. And so this consists of access to research, and it consists of the ability to go to professional workshops where people can learn the latest in techniques and new approaches. The third component is it's important to develop clinical psychology research that's local. And it would be wonderful to see the development of increasing amounts of research in Saudi Arabia. What does this need? It needs collaboration between the academic university staff and those professionals who are working on the ground in mental health facilities, so that they develop joint research ideas and projects. And in order to support that, the health facilities themselves need to be aware of the need for research and to support it wherever possible. And finally, in order to develop the clinical psychology profession, we need all of these things, but we need formal requirements. So firstly comes registration requirements. These are usually provided by the state and set the basic qualifications that are needed in order to be registered as a psychologist. What's needed beyond that is requirements that for psychologists to continue being registered, they need to actually show that they are continuing to develop their skills. We have that requirement in Australia. It's probably been going about a bit more than 5 years. That in order to keep up membership, one has to show that one is doing advanced training in some areas. And that can be going to workshops, it can be going to conferences, it can be showing that you've done some reading, and all sorts of ways, but it's important to show that you're continuing to develop as an informed professional. And finally, structurally, the assistance of professional psychology associations is very important. These associations drive the standards and monitor the standards of practice and push for change in structures where that's needed. And in our country, our Australian Psychological Society has over time been very influential in setting the standards, has increased the standards and managed to talk to the government and communicate what's needed to move the profession forward. So all of these things that I've talked about are really important for the development of clinical psychology in Saudi Arabia. And I will finish there. Thank you for your attention, and shukran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحقيقة الدكتور فلاح لا يحتاج إلى تعريف، أعرفه من زمن طويل، منذ أن كان طالب في جامعة الملك سعود، و سعيد جدا جدا لأنه دلوقتي جاء إلى السعودية ببرنامج ابتكاري جدا جدا، و أنا بتخيل إنه حيكون مفيد جدا بالنسبة للسعودية وللعالم الثالث ككل في الواقع، لأنه حسب علمي هذا النموذج غير مطبق في تقريبا في كل بلاد العالم الثالث لسه. فأعتقد إن هذه المحاولة السعودية هي حتكون رائعة بمعنى الكلمة، على أساس إن هو التطبيق الأول بالنسبة لكل الدول النامية تقريبا. والشيء المهم اللي في البرنامج إنه يعني لأول مرة بنحس إنه في نموذج نفسي مستقل إلى حد ما، أو إلى حد كبير عن النموذج الطبي. وهذا يعني الكثير جدا جدا، لأنه هذا النموذج الجديد اللي هم بيتكلموا عنه الجديد في نظري، وهو نموذج نفسي جديد بيختصر مدة العلاج بالنسبة للعلاج النفسي، وفي نفس الوقت بيستغنى عن كثير من السلبيات بتاعت النموذج الطبي الذي يعتمد كثيرا حسب ما نعرف كلنا على العقاقير وهكذا، وهذه طبعا مضرة جدا. ولا أريد أن أدخل في تفاصيل هذه، أنا بسميها زي مؤامرة بين الصيدلانية والمهن الطبية في بيسرعوا في طبعا في استخدام كثير من الأدوية اللي كان ممكن في كثير من الأحيان، يعني مثلا في حالات كثيرة من الاكتئاب كان ممكن العلاج النفسي يكون ناجح جدا جدا، لكن لسوء الحظ زي ما قلنا لكم انه العلاجات النفسية اللي كانت موجودة كانت مبالغ في الطول وكذا والتكلفة، فالناس كانت وبعدين الناس اصلا مهيئة في انه تروح للعلاج الطبي وهكذا. أنا في تجربتي في خاصة في مسألة إدمان المخدرات وكذا، وخلال 25 سنة شفت مآسي كثيرة جدا جدا ترتكب في حق المدمنين في أماكن العلاج، حيث النموذج الطبي هو المسيطر، فبتلاقي إنه بالفعل ما فيش نتائج، وإلى الآن الوضع كما هو رديء. فاختصارا للوقت، فأنا أقول إنه هذا النموذج المقدم هنا يقدم لأول مرة تقريبا في العالم الثالث، وأفخر جدا جدا لأنه هذا النموذج حيبدأ في تطبيقه في هنا عندنا في تبوك وليس في أي مكان آخر، ونتمنى إنه يتوسع فيما بعد. فأترك الفرصة للدكتور فلاح وأتمنى له التوفيق. السلام.
الله الرحمن الرحيم. الدكتور شرف يعني يثير